Hey world, how you doing? It's a little video about changing out a uh, Dixell XR60 controller. My old controller was an XR60 dash 5N1 F2. So I'm replacing it with a universal XR60. It's a little video about how to wire it in and a few of the differences. Anyways, so this is the universal controller, and there's your button, your TC up here, and your set button, and your defrost, and your up and your down on the other side. Okay, universal XR. Okay, do not. This piece of paper comes with your new controller. Do not throw it away. Absolutely crucial to have. You need to know what's what on your wiring on the back here. So, anyways, do read it. Read it once or twice so you understand it. This part right here, the quick startup. So basically, you want to figure out first my old controller model replaced. So there's your XR60 down here. So this is what I'm replacing right here. Just confirm that that's what you want to do. Electric or hot gas defrost, time initiated, temperature terminated. Evap fan delay and control. Yeah, that's for freezer. Uses 2 probes. Required probes. Okay. You're gonna need a room temp probe and a evaporator sensing probe. Should already be there. I used the old one because my building's getting torn down in 3 months. So this controller just died before the building's getting torn down. So anyways, figure out your parameter, your type of parameter TC, which is your type of controller. TC, type of controller. So TC6 is what I want to be using. You go up here, you follow these directions right here. Press the down key for 3 seconds. Press the TC button, like I said, is the upper left. Hold it down for 3 seconds. A number will pop up on the screen, and set it to number 6 or whichever one you want to be doing. Hit set and check if you're Fahrenheit or centigrade. Mine was Fahrenheit, so I was okay. Just hit set and you're ready to go. So this is just what you want to know for after you install the controller. So you install the controller. Let's go over the wiring. The old controller. This is my old controller. Okay, the XR60, the old controller. Okay, and this is what the new controller is looking like. There's your TC6. This is your different TC1, TC2, corresponds to what you select on the front page here. So TC6 is low temp, so for freezer, meaning low temp. Cooling is going to mean just refrigerator. So, there's heating up there. So, alright, and TC7 is whatever you want to do with it yourself. So TC6 is the only one it looks like you would use here for freezer. Maybe TC5 too. I was looking at that. I don't know. I didn't use that. Anyways. TC6 is this the new wiring diagram, and this is what the wiring diagram actually looks like, the label on the new controller. It's just labeled line, load 3, load 1, and then your supply. 4 and 5 That's your supply voltage in, whether it be 120 volt or 230 volt. It's a 230 volt controller, so that's the only thing you just have to be careful of. Make sure you select the correct voltage controller. You're either going to be purchasing a 230 volt controller or a 120 volt controller or a 12 or 24 volt controller. 3 voltage options. Okay. So as you can see, my old controller, you've got your line. There's your, okay, here's your supply voltage to power up your controller. On the old controller is terminal 6 and 7. On the new controller, your supply voltage is 4 and 5. So that's that. Okay, that's fairly straightforward. The little part that might confuse you is you can see the line voltage comes in here and only goes to 2 of the loads. You need to bring another line wire for the 3rd load on the new controller. So on the old controller, you can see the line wire feeds defrost, evap fans, and compressor. Your 3 different loads. Same line wire. They've split it up on the new controller. So on the new controller, you just take that same line wire. Mine came off the contactor. Just take another wire off the contactor and run it to terminal number 6. So then you're bringing there's your load, your line wire that will feed your fan, compressor, and defrost. The wiring locations have changed, and they're not labeled on the new. This is what the sticker looks like on the new control. It's only labeled load 3, 2, and load 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you need to write down or have this up there in the attic or wherever you're at. So write down like I did right here, which one goes to the new controller, which terminal. Okay, so that's what I did, and that really helped me out. I like that a lot. So my old wire, my defrost wire on my old controller was terminal number 2. Okay, so that goes to terminal number 7. And so that's why I put right there terminal number 7 on my new controller. Red wire defrost. So and label your wires on your old controller before you take them off, so you know which wire does what. So okay, so my old controller defrost was terminal number 2. That goes to terminal number 7 now. And the old controller, the evaporator fans, was terminal number 4. And then the new controller, evaporator fans, is going to be terminal number 2. And that's why I did that. And there's terminal number 2. And then compressor was terminal number 5 on the old controller. And that compressor goes to terminal number 3. Okay, like I said, they're not labeled. They don't say compressor, fan, and stuff on your new control. So you have to look at this schematic and write that down or something somewhere. That's why I did it here, so I knew which terminals to go where. Okay, it looks a little daunting from the get-go, but as long as you follow that, it'll work for you. And that's the only major change. Like I said, that line wire used to feed, your 1, 2, 3 different loads. Now they broke it into two loads. So your line wire feeds 2 loads here, then another line wire, same one off of there. You don't want to really jump over, because then you're carrying that current through that same wire. They obviously don't want you to carry that current through that wire, so that's why you bring a separate wire up and a separate wire up to feed the contactor, to feed the controller. Like I said, I just took it off the contactor. Same spot that wire comes off the contactor, just run another line up to feed your defrost circuit. And there's your three loads, your fan, your compressor, and your defrost. So that's that. And your power supply is now 4 and 5, instead of on the old control it was 6 and 7. Doesn't, as far as power supply for your powering, that power supply is just to power up your control. It doesn't matter which line 1 or line 2 for 230. It's not going to matter which wire you use. It is going to matter here. You got to make sure you use the same line wire for this one and for all of them. So that same line. Okay, and that should be pretty much it. That's about the only difference I found. When you're done, get it cooling when you start it up. Get it cooling for a while, then press your defrost button right here down for 3 seconds. Initiate defrost, and then just check your amps on your defrost wire, which is your new wire for defrost is going to be terminal number 7. So just make sure you check your amps. Make sure they're under 10 amps. What did I say there? Looks like 8 amps, 10 amp relay. So 8 amps, under 8 amps for a 250 volt. If it's over 8 amps, you want to use a contactor on that defrost circuit. And compressor circuit here looks like it'll handle 16 amps, 16 to 20 amps. They're saying. I wouldn't run that kind of current through this. This one goes to a contactor, so I would just use your take this wire off of 3, and instead of running it to the compressor, run it to the coil side of a contactor, and run your load through a contactor. Let the contactor take the load. This control lasted 10 or 11 years. Since it used the contactor, so that's your best way to go. Let me see. I think that's about all I wanted to say. Make sure when you take off your thermistors, they go 12. Make sure which thermistor, you don't mix them up, your VAP or your room thermistor. So that's the only thing. Label them. Label your wires so you know what one goes to what before you take it apart, and you'll be good to go. Okay, I think that's about it. And when you start it up, you just need to go through this and set your TC, your type of control, to 6 by holding the TC button down up here for 3 seconds. Number will come up. Mine came up number 4. Change it to number 6. Hit set. Fahrenheit came up, so I was fine. Hit set, and away you go. And there you can tell what controllers this replaces. And wanted to go over that a little bit with you for changing out a old XR60, an old XR60 from 2008 to a universal. XR60 of 2019. This is. Okay, alright, thanks for watching. Click like on the video and subscribe. Alright.